and welcome back. This is our next episode in our Decades Legacy Challenge, and as you can see, we are here with Siobhan, and she is feeling a little bit distraught because she was really hoping that Dean would have bonded with Matteo by now, but unfortunately that is definitely not the case. And time is really playing a factor here because Matteo is scheduled to have a birthday in this episode, and she is really upset by the fact that he's almost a toddler and Dean has still not bonded with him, and she's wondering if they're ever going to have the little family dynamic that she was really hoping for. So as you can see, she's just going to go ahead and go on in here and put Matteo off to bed because he is starting to get a little bit fussy and is wanting to go ahead and get some rest. And then we're going to go ahead and send Siobhan down so that she can get herself a bite to eat. But she's really wondering what she has to do to go ahead and make this family a whole unit that is going to work together and be loving and happy like she's really hoping for. I mean, Dean is trying. He does deal with Matteo. He does, help with Matteo and those kind of things. But she was really hoping that he would care for him and love him and, want to bond with him and be a father and have all of those feelings like, oh my gosh, this is my son and he's our heir, and you have all those feelings of pride and joy, and she can see that Dean just doesn't feel that way, and it's really upsetting to her. She really kind of hoped that once the baby was here that he would really easily be able to bond with him and build that kind of love relationship, and it just isn't the case. And she's like, I don't know what to do to kind of get him on board with this. And the older that he gets, she was like, I figured when he started cooing that would make things a little better. Well, now he's about to be a toddler, and she's like, things aren't changing. Dean's feelings aren't changing, and it's really upsetting her. As you can see, Dean is just going into the kitchen there. He's about to make a birthday cake. It is actually Dean and Matteo's birthday coming up, so we'll be celebrating both of their birthdays. Dean is about to become a young adult, and so we are going to celebrate that, and then we'll have to get him into a career soon so that he can go ahead and start making money for this family. But Siobhan is just really struggling with these feelings. I think in this episode also we're probably going to go and let Matteo meet his grandmother Annika. So we are wanting, Siobhan is wanting to go ahead and let him go ahead and meet Annika before he gets too old. I mean, not that, there's really a time frame that you have to let your grandmother, or your mother, I guess in her case, meet your child. But she's thinking, obviously I want Annika to get to know him. And so she is going to, after Dean makes this birthday cake, we're going to go ahead and we're going to travel to go see Annika. Hopefully she will be at home and we'll be able to visit with her. And she'll be able to introduce Matteo to Annika so that Annika can get to know her grandson. But for now, she's just going to work on a little bit of her homework while Dean works on this cake. Matteo is just getting a little bit of much needed rest currently, and then we'll do a little bit of visiting. So that'll be fantastic because, as we know, we have already, gone and visited with Charles and Angel, and so we just want to make sure that Matteo's introduced to all of his family. And then we'll probably go ahead and go by and see Joe at some point today as well. So we will make sure that Matteo kind of gets his rounds in and he gets to meet everyone that he needs to meet, and he's introduced to everyone in the family so that everyone has a chance to kind of get to know Matteo. And, Siobhan's proud of him. She wants to show him off. So she's like, I want everyone to know him because I may have not wanted this pregnancy in the beginning, but I love my son and I'm proud to show him off. I'm proud for people to know him. And, what I thought was going to be me feeling shame about having this child has become nothing but pure joy because I absolutely love him and I'm proud to call him mine. And so her feelings have completely changed when it comes to Matteo. And that's what she was kind of hoping would happen with Dean, but it just is not the case. So she's really just not sure how she's going to be able to make this family the unit of love and happiness that she kind of dreamed of when she was growing up. I mean, yes, this happened suddenly and younger than she kind of anticipated her life going in this direction. But now that she's in this direction and on this path, she still wants everything she ever dreamed of when she was a little girl, and it's just not kind of working out that way. Like, she's not really got that dynamic that she was really hoping for. Does she love her husband? Absolutely. Like, they're soulmates, and she's so very much in love with him. But as far as the relationship that he has with his son, she wished it were better. We're going to go ahead, and she's just going to clean up a little bit here, and then we are going to obviously go ahead and head ourselves off to see Annika. So we'll travel and we'll go see her and let her go ahead and get to meet Matteo, and then we will obviously see how they get on with one another. So that'll be really exciting to see how Annika gets on with her grandchildren. We know she wasn't a great mother in that sense, but Siobhan's hoping that she'll be different with her grandson. So we've made it over here to Annika's house, and we're going to go ahead and just go and knock on the door, and hopefully we'll be able to gain access to the house, and we can let Annika go ahead and meet Matteo, and we'll see how they do together. So we are just going to knock here on this door, and it says, "It looks like there's nobody home." And Siobhan's like, "Are you kidding? We've traveled this whole way and she's not even home? Like, where is she?" And so she's really kind of upset that and put out that her mom's not home, and she's thinking, why is she never home? What is she always up to? So she's going to go ahead, and we're going to plan to go travel and see her brother Joe. So let's go ahead and travel to Joe's house. So we've made it over here to Joe's, to the family home. We're going to go ahead and knock on the door and go see Joe. And we will see if everyone, or if he's home, and if we can visit with him. And of course he's home. So she's going to come in, she's going to just talk to Joe, and she's going to say, "Have you seen Mom?" And he's like, "No, I haven't. Why?" And she's like, "Well, I had gone over, I wanted to see her, I needed to talk to her a little bit." And he's like, "Oh, about what?" And she's like, "Well, actually, it's the same reason that I've come to see you." And he's like, "Well, why did you come see me?" And she's like, "Well, there's someone that I want you to meet." And he's like, "Who do you want me to meet?" And she's like, "Well, I'd like for you to meet my husband and my child." And he's like, "Oh." And she's like, "Yeah. So I just really wanted you to kind of get to know the family." And she's like, "I just thought that maybe you would like to obviously get to know them because, you know, they're part of the family now. And I just think that everyone should get to know them." So she's going to go ahead and she's going to introduce Matteo to Joe. And then we'll have Dean introduce himself to Joe as well. But she's going to introduce Matteo to Joe, and Joe's going to get to know Matteo here, which will be great. And obviously, you know, we know that Siobhan and Joe are twins, and so they've become like best friends, the bestest of friends. And they have such a close relationship, being that they are twins. And so, of course, she would want her brother to get to know his nephew and to have a bit of a relationship with him, because she's really close to her brother as well. And she's like, "I've just got to go to the washroom." And he's like, "Yeah, you're fine. Go right ahead. You know where everything is. I've got the baby. You go right ahead." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're perfectly fine." And she's like, but he's crying. And Joe's like, "I've got this. Everything will be fine." So he's going to go ahead and take Matteo here into the bedroom, and he's just going to give him a little bit of a feed while Siobhan goes ahead and uses the washroom and takes care of her needs here. So Joe is just going to go ahead and feed Matteo here and do a little bit of bonding with Matteo and kind of getting to know him, which is super cute. We're going to have Matteo here just smile at Joe and give him a little coo. I think that it would be really great for them to obviously be able to have a little bit of a relationship together, which is super cute. I think they are adorable together. They almost have the same haircut, which I think is precious. But as you can see, Joe is like, "He's so cute, Siobhan. I think that he's adorable." And Siobhan's like, "Thanks so much." And he's like, "He looks just like you." And she's like, "Do you think?" And Joe's like, "Yeah, I do think." And she's like, "I think he kind of looks a little bit like you, but with me, like my black hair." And he's like, "You think so?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And so they're just having a little bit of a conversation. And she's like, "Well, I tried to take him to see Mom because I wanted him to meet Mom, but she wasn't home." And Joe's like, "Yeah, you know how Mom is. She's kind of out and about and everywhere." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess." And Joe's like, "Were you expecting her to kind of, you know, be happy about this baby? Because if I remember rightly, she was pretty pissed that you got pregnant." And Siobhan's like, "I realized that she was mad that I got pregnant, but at the end of the day, like, I think that she still should know her grandson." And Joe's like, "Yeah, I think that she obviously needs to know her grandson as well, but I don't know how much of a good grandmother she's going to be. I mean, she wasn't the greatest mother. So Joe's walked out, and they are just going to go over here into the hallway here, and Dean and Joe are just going to have a little bit of a conversation. They're just kind of trying to get to know each other a little bit, and they're just kind of chatting a little bit about, you know, school whenever they were in the area together. Obviously, they went to the same school. And so they're just kind of gossiping about some of the local girls. And he's asking him, like, you know, are you in a relationship with anyone? And Joe's like, no, I'm not. I'm kind of single right now. I haven't really shacked up with anyone. And he's like, oh, okay. And so they're just kind of getting to know one another and, you know, gossiping and these kind of things while Siobhan just kind of takes care of Matteo here. And it's really nice to see that he's kind of getting on with Dean, which is a really good thing. I do think it would be really important to Siobhan that her family members approve of Dean and kind of get along with him. So I think it's great that, you know, they're all kind of getting along. So she's just going to continue having a little bit of a conversation with Joe here while she bonds with Matteo and does a little bit of tummy time. And then we are going to probably wrap things up soon and let them go ahead and go on home. It does look like everyone is starting to kind of get a little bit worn out. It was a long journey for them, obviously, from Mount Komorebi to Oasis Springs. And it has been a little bit of a long day. So we will have to go ahead and kind of get everyone to head on back home, which, you know, it's a long drive back. And so they would have to prepare for that journey back home. And she's probably just thinking to herself, like, you know, we have to kind of get ready to go on back. And Dean's like, yeah, I think we should probably go ahead and head. And she's like, okay, honey. So Dean's grabbed up Matteo and he's like, we're going to go ahead and leave now. So they're going to go ahead and head on home. I'm just going to go ahead and get Siobhan, and we're going to head her off to the house here and let her head on to the house as well. Siobhan, go on home. She's like, do I really want to go home though? Like, this house is so comfortable and it's just so familiar. Yeah, I get that. But like, you need to go home. She's like, I think I'm going to go play a little bit of computer. Or you could go home to your family. Like, go home. All right. So we're going to send her on home so that she can go be with her family and obviously take care of her son, because yeah, that needs to happen. So we've arrived back to the house here, and we are just going to go ahead and take everyone in. It looks like Dean is feeling a little bit hungry, a little bit dirty, and a little bit tired. He's literally just laid Matteo right in the doorway there. So I'm going to have Siobhan go ahead and grab Matteo and go and put him in his crib. So she's just going to pick him up, give him a little bit of a kiss here, and then go and put him in his crib so that he can get a little bit of, you know, rest for the evening. And then we'll get everybody turned in for the evening. Obviously, if they are hungry, we'll get them some food. But then they'll need to go ahead and turn in for the night. And that will be perfect. And then tomorrow is, like I said, both of their birthday, Matteo and Dean. And so we'll be celebrating their birthdays and seeing both of them age up, which is going to be fantastic. That we'll be celebrating that. So she's just going to go and put Matteo, obviously, to bed. It looks like Dean didn't get himself some food, so I'm going to go ahead and get him up out of bed and take him downstairs and let him grab himself something to eat here. And she's just going to tuck Matteo into bed, and then I'll have to send her on down to grab something to eat as well, because she is starting to get a little bit hungry. All right, are you eating? And he's like, no, I'm just sitting here on the phone. Okay, well, I want you to eat something, so go ahead and grab a bite to eat. He's like, I'm slowly eating. Okay, great. Go ahead and eat something. And then you can go off to bed. All right, Dean. Off to bed you go. He's like, I'm going to grab another plate. Did you really need another plate? No, you didn't. Go off to bed. Okay, perfect. Siobhan, though, you do need to come downstairs and grab yourself something to eat. So do like 2 ships passing in the night. There they go. All right, so she's going to come down and grab herself a bite to eat here. There is 2 bowls sitting here, so she can just eat one of them. Just eat yourself one of these plates here, and that'll be fantastic. It's just a little bit of steamed rice, so she's just going to go ahead and grab herself a serving of that, and we'll get her to eat, and then we'll go ahead and send her off to bed for the night as well. So both of the boys are upstairs. They're just getting some much needed rest. As you can see, we are in the year 2009, and so we have been slowly making it through here through the years, and we are just going to continue on and let them get a little bit of rest, and I will see you in the morning when they wake. All right, so Dean is up and he is just going ahead and getting himself a little bit of some much needed needs taken care of. He's desperate for a wee, so we're going to go ahead and let him go off to the washroom, and then he's going to need to go get himself a bite to eat, and he's desperate for a shower. I think he'll probably want to shower before he does anything because his hygiene is in seriously bad shape. And Siobhan is up as well, and she's desperate for fun. So I'm just going to try and get her to play a little bit of video games and see if she can get her fun up that way. And if not, then I may send her out for a little bit of a jog. No, she can't play the video games. Okay, fine. Go out and go get yourself a little bit of a jog in. And maybe that will help get up your fun because you are desperate for fun. So we're going to go ahead, send Siobhan out for a little bit of a jog and see if that helps get her fun up while Dean goes ahead and gets himself his bath, and then he can get himself something to eat. So Siobhan's like, I'm just going to go out for a jog, honey. And Dean's like, okay, that's great. That sounds like a good plan. So it's like super early. It's only like almost 4 a.m. And she's up. She's out going for a very early morning jog. And she's feeling kind of uncomfortable because of her allergies. But other than that, she is feeling fantastic. Her needs are going up. Her fun is going up from this run. And she's feeling super energized from this jog. As we know, she really does like running, and she thinks this area is beautiful. So she loves getting outdoors and spending time out here getting a bunch of fitness in. And so we love that for her. And she's just thinking about the fact that it's Matteo's birthday and the fact that he's already becoming a toddler. She can't believe that time is flying by as fast as it is. Like, it was just yesterday she feels like she had him, and now he's already becoming a toddler, and she's thinking, I can't believe that, you know, it's already time for him to start preschool. And, you know, she can't believe that, you know, time is just passing them by so quickly. And, you know, she obviously doesn't want any more children, but she definitely misses those baby days. And so she's thinking to herself, like, I really, really wish that Dean felt the same way that I felt, and that he, you know, treasured these little milestones as deeply as I did, or as I do, I guess. And she's, you know, just thinking about all of these things while she gets a run in. Dean's come down after his bath. He's just going to go ahead and grab himself a bite to eat. We're going to go ahead and pull the cake out and put it on the counter here so that when he's done with his meal, he can go ahead and blow out the candles, because if we look on the calendar, we'll see that it is both of the boys' birthday. So we're going to just select here that he goes ahead and blows out his candles. And I will show you on the calendar here that it is both Matteo and Dean's birthday. And so they're going to both blow out their candles today, and that will be fantastic. We'll see them both age up. And so we will just have him eat. He's also dealing with some allergies. Both of them are having a fit of allergies in this area because of ragweed. And so they're struggling with that. So he's just going to go ahead and blow out his candles and age up to a young adult now. So happy birthday, Dean. And we'll go ahead and take a look at his panel and see what he got. So he is oblivious, a darling, and he is cultured. And then for his aspiration, he is a computer whiz. So we love that for him. So Siobhan's like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go grab Matteo and we'll go ahead and celebrate his birthday. And Dean's like, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And she's like, okay, I'll be right back down with Matteo. And he's like, okay, were you wanting me to stay here and like wait for you? And she's like, well, I would like for you to be part of the celebration. And he's like, well, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. And she's like, fine, whatever. So as you can see, you know, Dean's not really even into celebrating his birthday. He's like, whatever, it is what it is. He's just aging up, like no big deal. And she's like, I really wish that he would be more, you know, into this like I am. So Matteo is going to go ahead and age up now and blow out his candles, which is super cute. And we're going to go ahead and age him up to a toddler. And then we will go ahead and hop into Cass and give him his makeover, and I will show you what he looks like after we got given him his makeover. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this is Matteo after his makeover and what he looks like. He's super cute. He also got a communication development delay when he aged up, and these are his outfits that we have given him. And let's go ahead and hop back into the game.
set out on a road that I built with my own two hands. I met friends on the way, people chosen to make a stand. I felt strong in the sun as I walked onto pastures green. Saw forgiveness together as spaces in between. And I'll be with you through the night. And I'll turn every wrong to right. Baby, we're children of summer, we're meant to be free.
Okay, now that we have gotten the bedroom and everything updated for a toddler, as you can see, Dean is just doing some flashcards with Matteo. I don't know how much he's going to appreciate that, considering he has a communication development delay. It would seem not so much. He doesn't like it at all. But Siobhan is just doing a little bit of cleaning up, and then we're going to have her go ahead and take a little bit of a bath. And it would seem that Dean is off to bed because he's feeling a little bit tired. Matteo is downstairs. He's just grabbing himself a serving of that cake because he's like, I'm hungry and there's cake out, so why not go ahead and eat it? So we are just going to go ahead and see him eat this cake, which is fantastic. We love that for him. I'm just grabbing a trash can for the house here, and then we will go ahead and let Matteo have that cake, and we'll visit with him for a little bit down here because obviously we're going to give Siobhan a little bit of privacy as she takes her bath. So we'll just spend a little bit of time with Matteo and let Dean have his sleep and let Siobhan get herself her bath. So yeah, she's getting herself her bath, and then she's going to clean up that bathtub because it is disgusting. And Matteo's just going to eat this cake up, and he's going to love that. It looks like he needs to go ahead and go to the washroom, so he's probably going to end up using his diaper. And let's go ahead and see his relationship panel and see how he is with his father, because I do think that Dean still has the unwanted child thing for him. So I just want to see what his relationship is with his dad. So if you look for about Dean and him, it looks like Matteo is fascinated by Dean, and it looks like Dean's sentiment about Matteo is he's still an unwanted child, but he also has the adoring sentiment with him. So he does find him adoring, or he is adoring about him, but he's still unwanted. So he is trying, I think, to get a little bit of a relationship with Matteo. He's trying to kind of get a little bit of a bond with him, I think, by having that adoring sentiment. But because he is an unwanted child, he's just really struggling to get that bond like Siobhan wants him to have. And so it is just really difficult for Dean, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and have Siobhan come down and grab Matteo. We're going to go ahead and get her to bring him on upstairs and maybe put him in his bedroom here. She'll probably have to go ahead and put him to bed. That way she can get him to get upstairs to his room. Obviously, he doesn't have enough skill to walk up the stairs currently. So we're just going to have her come and put him upstairs in the bed. And then when she does that, he'll be able to come up and he'll be able to be in his room so that he can, play with his toys and things like that. He is desperately needing some hygiene soon. So we will definitely need to do that. But for now, she's just going to go ahead and put him to bed. He isn't really tired currently, so he probably won't go ahead and get any rest as far as sleep goes. But he will at least be in his room, and then he can play with some of his toys and start skill building. I'll probably go ahead and get him working on stacking so that he can get some movement skill up. And it looks like Siobhan and Matteo are going to have a little bit of a strict family dynamic. She told him that she wanted to put him to bed, and he was like, okay. And that created a strict family dynamic. I don't know necessarily how long they'll have a strict family dynamic, but it seems like as of right now, while he's a tiny little tot, they are going to have a little bit of a strict family dynamic. So she's going to go ahead, put him into bed here. And like I said, he's probably going to go ahead and just get himself right back up and start playing with some of his toys here, because I do want him working on that movement skill. So we will have him go ahead and get up and do that, just because I think that he really needs to get some movement skill up in and that way he can learn how to get up and down those stairs on his own. So we're just going to have him work on a little bit of his toys here and start building some of these skills that he's going to need for his life and being able to kind of get around and things like that. Siobhan obviously is just taking care of some of her needs. She's going to the washroom here, and then I'm going to have her go ahead and get herself something to eat. But she is thinking, like, it's been a while since I've been romantic with my husband. I think maybe we should have ourselves a little bit of a woohoo. Obviously, she's on the pill, so she's not too concerned about the fact that she's going to get pregnant or anything like that. So they can woohoo without worry and things of that nature, which is fantastic because, as we know, we don't want them necessarily having to worry about having another kid. She's not wanting another child right now, and Dean definitely doesn't want another child right now. So they're going to go ahead and have themselves a little bit of a woohoo here while Matteo is in his room playing with his toys, and just have a little bit of an adult time because it has been a while since they've been romantic with one another. And I think that they, would definitely need that time together. So they are just going to spend that time with one another. So we're just going to have them go ahead and do that. And then we'll let both of them get a little bit of rest. So they're just going to take themselves a little bit of a nap here while Matteo's in there playing. And then once Matteo's done playing with his toys, we'll probably go ahead and let him get a little bit of a sleep as well because he's starting to get a little bit tired. And then once everyone's done with their nap, we'll go ahead and get them up and let them get some food and things of that nature. So we will love that. So I will see you when everyone gets up from their nap. Okay, so Siobhan is up from her nap. She's just going to go in here into the bathroom and take herself a pregnancy test. Not because, she's super worried, but she is a little concerned that she could be potentially pregnant. She knows she's on the pill, but she does like to take a pregnancy test just to be sure. And, she likes to make sure that she isn't expecting after they do things such as woohoos and things like that. And it says that she is not pregnant, maybe next time. And as you can see, that does not make her sad. She's perfectly okay with that news, which is good. And so she's going to go ahead and go on downstairs and take care of some of her needs here. Matteo's just getting himself a little bit of sleep, and Dean is still sleeping as well. And we're going to go ahead and get Dean up, and we're going to have him just potty train Matteo a little bit while Siobhan goes ahead and gets some food cooking. So let's get him to get up Matteo here and get Matteo potty training. And then Siobhan can go ahead and just deal with cooking some food downstairs and making sure there's some stuff for the family to eat. She's going to go ahead and try to make some hot pot, but it doesn't seem like it's working for whatever reason. So I think maybe I might go ahead and get her to cook something in the steam cooker, and maybe that will work instead because this isn't working, as you can see. It looks like now Dean and Matteo are going to have a strict family dynamic. So he's going to have both of his parents be strict with him. I don't know that that's necessarily ideal for Matteo, but it is what it is. I definitely expected Dean to be strict with him. I don't know that I expected Siobhan to be strict with him per se, but I guess it is what it is. So Siobhan is just going to talk with Rebecca a little bit on the phone here, and then I'm going to have her come over here and do a little bit of cooking in the steam cooker and get some food going for the family. If I don't get some food going, then they're going to come down and they're going to eat that cake, and I don't necessarily want them eating cake instead of real food. So I'm just going to have her go ahead and start a meal. So she is just preparing this meal for the rice cooker here, or the steam cooker, and it looks like Matteo has acquired the potty skill. So that's fantastic. Dean is working with him on the potty skill upstairs, and then we will hopefully be able to go ahead and get them all to come downstairs and have themselves a serving of this meal once she has completed it. She is getting very, very hungry. Her hunger's in the red. And as you can see, her allergies are really giving her a time. She grabbed a piece of that cake. Seriously, Siobhan? Finish this meal and then you can eat that instead. Don't you grab cake. She grabbed another slice of cake. Oh my gosh. All right, so she's grabbed all servings of this food. I'm just going to have her go ahead and grab a serving of the food and call everyone to a meal. So she's grabbed a serving of the meal that she cooked instead of the cake, which is good. I would prefer her to eat that anyway. It would seem, though, that it is a little bit warm. Look at her. She's like breathing fire. Oh my goodness. We're going to go ahead and get Matteo up. He's feeling really hungry, so I'm going to have him come and just grab a serving of this food as well. That way he is not starving to death. And I'm going to have Dean come and grab a serving of this food also, because it would seem he's pretty hungry. And everyone needs to just go ahead and get them a bite to eat. I'm not sure why our hot pot maker isn't working, because I know for a fact that it does work, because they've eaten hot pot before. But for some reason it's being silly. So we'll have to investigate that. But everyone's going to go ahead and grab themselves a serving of this food here, which is fantastic. We're just going to have them go ahead and eat something, and then we'll clean up the messes. And as you can see, Siobhan is just checking on Matteo to make sure he's okay. And she's like, is everything all right? And, you know, he's just over there shoving food in his face. So I think he's good. So he's just eating, and everyone has gone ahead and grabbed something to eat except for Dean. Dean hasn't eaten anything yet, so I'm going to hopefully get him to eat something. Mateo's headed back upstairs to go play. So as you can see, he is finally able to navigate these stairs on his own, which is fantastic. We love that for him. And Dean is finally going to go ahead and sit down and grab himself a bite to eat. Siobhan is headed upstairs, and so I think she's probably going to go and just take care of a little bit of her needs. There's a good possibility she's probably going to go take herself a little bit of a nap. Both of them with their allergies, like, for whatever reason, Mount Komorebi is really, really taking a toll on them with their allergies. Ragweed must be like really, really bad here in this region. Because when they were in Oasis Springs visiting with Joe, their allergies were fine. But as soon as they got back to Mount Komorebi, it was really, really bad. So these two are just having a little bit of a conversation, and Siobhan's like, are you getting a little bit better with Matteo? And Dean's like, I'm trying, honey. And she's like, I realized that. I just was really hoping that by now you would be able to accept him. And he's like, it's not that I don't accept him. It's just that I'm not as close to him as you are. And she's like, are you going to work on that? And he's like, I'm trying. I really am. So everyone's going to head off to bed. This is our new little boy, Dax. He has aged up to an infant. For our Haskins family. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, I'm going to fly for now. Bye, Ravens.